very smartly as they headed off the line. But their side-by-side, Brock made a big move there, tried to get up amongst them, and Perkins came up smartly.
Oh, the two Coke cars, I don't believe it.
And Wayne Gardner and Neil Crompton come together in the first turn.
The two teammates on the first corner. I think they cleared up. The yellow flags are waving, but meanwhile the charge continues up Mountain Straight and through to qualifying form. It's Johnny Bowe, car 18, ahead of Dick Johnson, the second Shell Falcon. Then it's Brock, then the first of the Peter Jackson Falcons as they swing up toward the cutting.
Thomas Mazzera also making a big start as Tony Longhurst got sideways. Or it could have even been Larry halfway up the hill. Very skatey.
Both the Castrol cars running there together. Everybody's very, very excited here, Mark. That bloody zeal that is required to keep these things going in a frame of mind of knowing that 13 flat-out laps, it's going to be very hard. I sympathise with them.
Across the top toward McPhillamy Park for the first time around. Johnson pops a wheel up on the inside of the ripple strip as they head down toward McPhillamy Park.
They come through Castrol. Brock sitting in behind them. Keeping in mind, Brock, when he qualified, did his fastest time on lap 34 of staying out there. So Brock has got a tyre set up for this race. If he can stay with them in the early part, he'll be pure dynamite by the time the second heat comes around.
I don't think there's any doubt of that, Mike.
He found a winning combination. Simmons Plains going with the harder rubber. He wore the rest of the opposition down, and boy, he's got plenty of speed aboard 05 today with these harder tyres. So keep an eye on Rocky as the laps unfold at Mount Panorama today. So track temperatures a bit higher. Pretty warm day here at Bathurst. A strong westerly breeze blowing across the track, so it may play havoc with tyre temperatures as the race wears on.
Here they come downhill now for the run. The right-hander, John Bowe. He just put a front wheel over the white line. Brock a dab of the brakes as Johnson closes it up behind John Bowe to Caltech's chase for the first time.
Top 10 cars under the existing lap record in qualifying. John Bowe, 8/10 of a second faster than Seton was here at the 2 East 1000 last year. Just an indication of the unbelievable rate of development in V8 Touring car racing today. Bowe leads them across, true to form. He's got Johnson tucked in behind him as they come across. Then it's Seton, Brock. And we take Dunlop Race Cam aboard Dick Johnson's Shell 17 Falcon as they brake hard and swing up Mountain Straight for the second time. Bowe gets a little bit out of shape. Johnson actually backed off there to stay out of the back of the car. Looked like John may have missed a gear. Oh, we've got Brocky in trouble.
Yes. Actually, that was more than a little bit of a wiggle from John Bowe.
And the suggestion is probably oil on the track that could even be from the spin that we saw there with Wayne Gardner and Neil Crompton.
Not very often that Brock gets caught out, so no doubt something they didn't see.
Yeah, well, John got a wiggle on there and Dick got right off the gas, so there may be something slippery on that corner, but hasn't disrupted the leading bunch. Bowe leads Johnson through. Then we've got Seton, Mazzera, Skaife, Jones, Tony Longhurst, Phil Ward in the Nokia entry. They pick their way up toward the cutting for the second time.
Alan Heafy, team manager for Coca-Cola, you couldn't have had a worse nightmare than this.
Well, certainly not the way to start the race. We were looking forward to having a good race. Everything was looking pretty good. We just wanted to be consistent and get into the points again like we have been for the last couple of races, but apparently a car touched Wayne, bounced off Wayne, hit Neil and took both of them out, and Neil's car is pretty badly damaged. We may be able to get Wayne's back into the next race, but until we get it back and have a look, we're not sure.
Mate, we certainly wish you all the best and hope to see you in Heat 2.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Always a tragedy when you lose two. The whole idea of having a two-car team is that it can't possibly happen to both of them, and I sympathise for them. A fine prepared team and great drivers wanting to get out here and get the practice and get a run on the boards, and both looking at the race.
There go the flying forwards of the Dick Johnson team as they come downhill again, and Dick saying, hey, I'm ready to challenge you.
Really, for the brilliance of race cam, you really can't bring the speed of those cars come through. They actually turn to the left and switch across to the right through that sweep at 280 kilometres an hour. You stand next to the track and they just punch such a hole in the air, it almost knocks you off your feet. They really are just going so quickly around here. John Bowe, as Dick Johnson's Dunlop Race Cam shows, in command here as we clock up 3 laps in this first 15-lap encounter.
Showing how close Dick's been running. That's not rain on the windscreen. A little bit of smudging coming off the car in front of him. And that's a euphemism for oil for anybody that doesn't understand the lingo. But here we go up Mountain Straight, and Dick was really hauling the mile here this morning in the Peter Jackson Dash. Here he comes now, actually into the slipstream. Now you can see him accelerating as he gets into the wind blockage that John's providing for him. On go the number 18 brakes. Dicey corner here. Had my spin here in my day. Very important to come up here as fast as you can because it's a steep hill.
BP cutting. Mark just said a moment ago that standing down there for the warm-up this morning, watching these cars punch down Conrod Straight yesterday with Alan Moffat, Richie Cornford and Johnny Goss. Even you winced yesterday at the speed of the car.
Yes, I did. And not just the noise hearing them coming down, but just the absolute fearless approach that they're taking to Castrol Chase. And not that this is any chicken run across here. Here we got a fantastic shot of them going over Skyline, and as you can, why they call it Skyline, that's all you see is daylight.
Well, the Shell boys may be dominating at the front, as you can see this great shot from 7 race cam, but Glenn Seton, currently the fastest man on the circuit, he's just fired off a 2:14.5, and I know that Glenn and Alan Jones have been complaining they're lacking the horsepower of these Johnson cars, but boy, they're circulating pretty quickly around here at the moment.
Just follow this down Conrod Straight, and then we'll go down to the pits in a second. Andy Raymond getting both Wayne Gardner and Neil Crompton together, but just listen to the pitch of the engine. Oh, dramatic stuff. It's Queensland's best. Comes through to take the lead. He loves this place. He drives it better than anyone else. Let's go down to Andy.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. While the Shell boys are doing battle, I've got a very dejected Wayne Gardner with me. Mate, I think the easiest way to sum up today, it's been one of those weeks.
Is that what you call it? Yeah, very, very frustrating because out of that incident, both my cars got taken out, and very disappointing. You know, we made a lot of changes this morning. As you see, the dash, the car had improved quite a bit, and it was all over Glenn. But didn't get into the first corner until I got involved in an accident. Looked like Neil had been hit by Phil Ward, got into a spin, took me out, and both of us went off, and somewhere or other Wardy got out of the whole thing. So very disappointing. But what can you do?
Mate, we hope to see you back.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll try and get a fix for the second one, but I can't believe this has even happened, you know.
Bad luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes, a disappointed Wayne Gardner. And here is the battle between the FORDs as Glenn Seton now picks up the pace. They come under the Tooheys Bridge. And Tooheys turn at the top of the mountain. And the old master, Dick Johnson, the demon from Daisy Hill, out there in front leading John Bowe. And Glenn Seton says, I muffed the start and the dash. But at least the pole set is falling back into my clutches.
They are flying, Mike, honestly.
This will be promising stuff for Glenn. As I said before, he's been complaining about a lack of horsepower. Is he having a go at John Bowe there? No, he tucks in for the run down to the dipper once again. But the great strong point of these Peter Jackson Fords is the way Glenn sets the chassis up. They always seem to work particularly well in the handling department. And boy, if he's lacking grunt, he's certainly making up for it with handling here. He's right on the back of Bowe. And he's going to try and use that extra horsepower of Bowe's car to tow him down the straight. And he'll have a real go, I think, on Caltech's Chase when he gets the opportunity.
Sorry. I was going to say, Glenn Seton's still the fastest man on the circuit, pulling a 2:14.5 the last lap, although Dick seems to be scarpering away from them now.
And now Mark Skaife has just undercut Seton this time. He's taken about 3 or 4 hundredths off Glenn's time. So Skaife, in the first of the Commodores in this race, is now the fastest man on the track. And he's making big inroads on the back of this Ford trio. Just see him in the back of the shot there as he gets down to the job.
As you mentioned, Mike, Dick really loves this place. He's done extremely well here over many years, and another thing he loves to do is to supervise the engine development. He's a very keen and astute selector of what has to go into the engines. He's got great fellows working on the engines, but he doesn't just let it happen, and it is nice to see him out here enjoying his own fruits.
Sure is. Got a great battle going here. Let's check him out for you on the Shell race score. A little bit of sprinting at Mount Panorama. Dick Johnson, the veteran, leads. Teammate John Bowe. Glenn Seton runs in third. Mark Skaife now up to fourth. And Larry Perkins clawing his way back to fifth. Don't go away. The gap as Dick Johnson gets away from them over the top of the hill. And he comes heading down here to Caltech's Chase again. John Bowe goes through. Yeah, that even scared the living daylights out of our cameraman. I tell you what, Johnson looks sharp here today. Are you on Stimorol or steroids?
Must be steroids, I think. But I don't know whose they are.
Well, I thought you were taking the Synovus every day. You told me that yesterday.
Oh, hang on. It's supposed to be a plug for my spot, not yours.
Dick, you're looking strong. How good does the car feel?
The car feels great, but I can't see a damn thing. Because Bowe chucked up all this oil on the windscreen.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like looking through a broken sheet of glass.
Yeah, we can see that as the camera comes round.
Oh, you got the good side.
Yeah, and comfortable.
Oh, thanks very much.
How bad was the oil in that first turn the second time you came round?
I think it was cross your fingers and hope for the best deal. That's exactly what it was.
Okay, you're making this look easy. Have a fine day. We're following Larry Perkins as we go outside under the front spoiler here of Larry's car. He comes down the Conrod straight, and that's Mark Skaife just ahead of him, and he's actually been clawing away and pulling Skaife back.
Look at the amount of fuel they're tipping through these Chevy V8s, Alan. A big plume of black smoke coming out of the exhaust. It's very hard to get accurate figures on how much power they're producing, but some say in the region of 570, 580, which is...
getting up there.
Yeah, that's a lot of grunt.
For 5 litres, you know, that's no taxi motor.
So Larry Perkins closing in on the back of Mark Skaife. The Whitfield #1. Jimmy Richards, of course, not competing today after that shunt. Yesterday afternoon, the team deciding not to try and repair the car and send it back to Melbourne. So Skaife, the lone representative here, and doing a great job in 4th place. And boy, isn't he having a difficult championship at 95.
Yes, he's carrying the 1 on the side of the Winfield Commodore. And but unfortunately, the Shell team have started this season the way the Winfield team started season 94. Apart from the fact, of course, that Mark Skaife was so lucky in that practice accident he had at Eastern Creek. He missed a round of the championship. Now you're going to see some fascinating shots as they work their way up the mountain, and the engineer is at work.
This really is one of the most evocative views you'll ever see of motorsport. A fabulous low angle from the front spoiler of Larry Perkins' Castrol Commodore. You're looking right under the tail of the Winfield machine as they head up across the top of the mountain. Look how busy that suspension is as it hops and jumps across the road, oversteer, understeer as he tries to get the power to the ground. It really is the most incredible view, Alan.
Don't think he can't feel that wiggling either. That's just the suspension at work, and he can make the right judgment going into a corner and getting the car set up. But once the rear end decides, hey, I'm part of this equation, and starts that wiggling, the driver feels it. Here's Larry having to follow the brake lights now. This is extremely hard. Look, we're getting dizzy watching this. Larry just has to hit his gas pedal in sync with Mark. When he sees the brake lights go on, he must brake as well. He can't drive into him. Just a little lock up there.
Just look at the driving technique there. He's braking as he's cornering. He's right on that balance between braking and sliding the car. Really, that is absolutely on the limit, isn't it?
Exactly.
Glenn Seton, despite that tremendous charge in the opening third of this race, really has stabilised his position behind John Bowe.
Mark Skaife and Larry Perkins run 4th and 5th. That's the order. And behind them, Thomas Mazera in 6th, Alan Jones 7th, Peter Brock is 8th, Tony Longhurst 9th, and Phil Ward is in 10th spot in the Nokia Commodore. There's the gap. Coming up now is Mark Skaife, and Larry is closing all over him. That's Thomas Mazera, a lonely drive here for Thomas and also for Alan Jones.
Talk about bringing the best out in someone, Mark Skaife, but getting certainly a hurry up from Larry Perkins here. Look how close Larry goes. You can just about see the brand name on the oil coolers under the car there. Skaife mirrors just full of Castrol Holden as they come up toward Reed Park. This daunting part of the track as they take this dip just on close to 200 kilometres an hour across the top of the mountain here as they approach this blind McPhillamy Park approach.
This is not easy, believe me. Everyone can see basically Larry's got a few more leverage with the windscreen, but the angle we're looking at here is basically what he has to put up with. Well, Seton's certainly not backing off in any shape or form. He has got the benefit of the toe on the straights. Not enough, it appears, for him to get up alongside and actually challenge John Bowe, but by the same token, John will be quite worried about who's sitting behind him.
I wonder if he was aware of those engine temperatures. He spent the preceding laps just getting the engine temperature under control, and now he's going to have a real go on the draft in this final 2 laps. It's the only way he's going to nail Bowe on the straight, isn't it?
Could be the case.
So this time, Glenn Seton tucks into the draft behind John Bowe's car. Let's see if he does it the final time around. They're coming up for their final lap now. Dick Johnson still in control for Bowe. Seton, Mark Skaife and Larry Perkins. That great battle for 4th and 5th. Thomas Mazera in 6th. Alan Jones in 7th. It's Brock, Longhurst and Phil Ward rounding out the top 10.
Well, the last lap signal is out as they come across the line now. There's Johnson. So they're probably a little closer to Johnson than they were a couple of laps ago, but Lenz got into the off-roading.
Boy, look at the amount of...
Look what he kicked up, but he held it. He knew where he was going. He didn't get out of control, but he was certainly trying to creep up on the car in front of him, but in the process lost a bit traction on the dirt.
Certainly mucked up his corner exit speed up that critical mountain straight climb. Last time around, Bowe got it down to just 2.1 seconds, the gap between Johnson and Bowe that time across the start and finish line. And the gap to Skaife has increased from Seton in 3rd to Skaife in 4th. 7 seconds that last time across.
Well, Dick will be loving this. He's really at home at this place. He does love it. It's been his career, his life. He's raced here for over 2 decades. And I wouldn't want to count how many laps he's got under his belt. And it'll be a great thrill for him here today.
Oh, we take the Dunlop tyres race cam. It's down.
Combination there, you hear him hitting the gas pedal, using that 6-speed gearbox, coaxing it around, giving it a bit. By the sound of that Ford, it's not too much coaxing. It seems to be responding pretty quickly.
It's doing quite nicely. Tyre power turn for the final time as Johnson sets the Shell FAI car into the breeze. And there he goes. That's not a bad sort of a lead, son.
Well, Mike, I was just hoping it might be on the last lap in October you're talking to me, you know, not now.
Now, you've always been sitting in the garage cheering on Bowe there on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, well, that's the way it's worked out, unfortunately, but I'll get there one day.
You've shown the kids something today.
Oh, well, you know, it's like, mate, I just thought that when I get to the stage where I get to 50, you end up becoming in the master status, and I think that should allow us an extra litre in the engine side, don't you?
You sure have. Checkered flag time as Dick Johnson gets across the line. Hey, well done, Dick.
Very well done, Dick.
Thanks, mate.
Johnny Bowe places in 2nd and Glenn Seton in 3rd place. Let's check them out for you on our Shell race score. Dickie Johnson of Queensland, 1-2 for the Shell team. John Bowe places 2nd. Glenn Seton was 3rd. Mark Skaife was 4th. Larry Perkins rounded out 5. 6th spot to Thomas Mazera. 7th was Alan Jones. 8th Peter Brock. 9th Tony Longhurst. And